Purpoz Counseling and Wellness Center. Therapy. Feel like you're falling apart? Let us help you find the missing pieces in your life. Purpoz Counseling and Wellness Center, PCWC, provides a variety of therapeutic counseling services geared towards helping individual families and the communities. Our goals is to assist individuals holistically through our transpersonal counseling psychological services. We are also available on Psychology Today. Give us a call today. Hello, lovely light beings. This video is about FBA, which is Foundational Black Americans, delineating from the term African. And I've been seeing this back and forth throughout social media, and I wanted to talk about this, because I've noticed that there has been, I believe, confusion or a misunderstanding, about why the Black Americans are creating a new way of identifying themselves as FBA. I believe there's a misunderstanding between the FBAs and the Africans and also the Caribbeans. For some reason, everybody thinks that we are creating this boundary to separate ourselves from being Black. The case, I think there's a misunderstanding. I believe a lot of immigrants come into this country and don't understand the history and don't take the time to understand our plight. I'm an FBA, and my lineage is with Creek and Cherokee Indian, and so Black Indian, which are the Black Indians. And if people will take the time to learn about our history and do some thorough research, they'll see where we're coming from. I think the misunderstanding is oftentimes coming from the lack of education or the lack of research, and that's when we tend to clash. The reason why we are delineating is because we're owed reparation, and we are doing this in order to set healthy boundaries, because a lot of people have immigrated here in the Americas recently, and we're losing our identity. Everyone knows that African American is a misnomer, and it doesn't really describe who we truly are, and it doesn't really help us to connect or have a really deep-rooted respect for our ancestors who are indigenous to the Americas. I've done several videos over the years, a lot of videos. I have over 800 videos on my channel talking about the American Aborigines, talking about mental health, talking about spirituality, also astrology, about the tarot, spirituality, you name it, it's all there. And I talk about a lot of these things, and with the focus of identity, especially here as American Aborigines. But I'm going to share with you all this clip that is coming from another, I believe she's Black American. I'm not sure if she's FBA. She might be either African or Caribbean. I'm not sure. But she gives an explanation. I thought she was pretty accurate in how she explained it.
Black American delineation has nothing to do with anti-African, anti-Caribbean, or anti-other Black nations. It's about preserving culture, preserving inheritance, setting aside a particular group so that they are not forgotten. They don't want their ancestors, the sacrifice of their ancestors. They don't want the sacrifice of their people to be forgotten. You say that they don't have culture. You say that they don't have identity. And when they decide to set themselves apart, you say that they shouldn't. And no other culture is expected to absorb everybody else except Black Americans. You don't go to Jamaica and say, you got to accept us as Jamaican. You don't go to Haiti and say, you got to accept us as Haitian. Everybody else can have their identity, but when it comes to Black Americans wanting to set themselves apart, you say, oh no, you guys you're xenophobic, you're Zionists. No, stop gaslighting them. Are there some extremists? Yes. But that doesn't represent the whole group. It's important that this group is set aside because they do have an inheritance. They have a special tie to this land and a special history to this land, and they deserve that observation.
So I shared the video with you. I believe she's done FBA, and I think it's great that she was able to understand our plight and see where we're coming from. And I believe she understands exactly where we're coming from because she actually took the time to research our background and our history. And I think once you understand our origins and what we've been through as prisoners of war, which they often say slavery, our ancestors fought for centuries for this land. And we've been here prior to the colonizers. And that's oftentimes overlooked and erased in history books. But if you take the time to learn our plight, you definitely can understand and can relate and understand why we're doing what we're doing. And also, we respect you all when you all say that you're from this country and from this land and from this tribe, from Africa and also from the Caribbean and from the islands. Then we ask you to respect us when we identify our roots as well as being indigenous here in the Americas and being linked to a tribe. And everybody know that the tribes, and especially the Southeast Woodlands, have been hijacked and stolen by the so-called natives who came from further north, and also the Caucasian, the palm-colored race, mainly the palm-colored race. And so that's why, Jim Crow was in place after slavery to strip us of our indigenous heritage. And we've known this through our family reunions. Watch my videos. I talk about this, how the family reunions came about. It was started right after slavery in order to keep an accurate record of our bloodline. We have relics. We have historic relics. We have our archives. We keep up with our history. And that's how we know which tribe we're from. And all we're asking is that you all respect our wishes of connecting to our ancestors as we fight to get what's rightfully owed to us, which is our reparation.
Why is the whole world interested in what Black Americans are doing? This is the beginning to be very daunting and disgusting. Like, this is really, really pissing me off, man. Every time I turn around, you got another group wanting to poke their nose in Black American people business, want to involve themselves in our politics, want to involve themselves in our social structure. And you mad because we reject the title African American? Listen, I'm 58 years old. I'm old enough to know where that term came from. That came from Jesse Jackson and his Rainbow Coalition in the 80s. I remember that. I remember that when he told us we was African Americans. That was a few years after the movie Roots came out. So he piggybacked off of that generational trauma that was inflicted by that bogus fantasy of Alex Haley's nonsense. And I'll tell you this. My grandparents were born in Little Rock, Arkansas in 1921. I remember sitting on the bed with my grandmother. Couldn't have been no older than 10, maybe 11. And I was just sitting there admiring her long, beautiful hair. And it was so black. And I asked her, I said, Grandma, why your hair so pretty? And my grandmother looked and said, baby, you don't know? I'm Cherokee. Not one time did my grandparents ever claim to be African American, African in any sense of the word. My grandmother told me out of her own mouth that she was Cherokee. And if she's Cherokee, therefore I am. Make no mistake about it. We know who we are. We know who we are. Some of us have this deep-seated sleep that they refuse to wake up from. But the majority of us see clearly. We know who we are. We are indigenous to this land. I didn't come over here on no damn boat. I don't have no ties to Africa outside of the color of my skin. We've been here way too long. Long before Columbus. Way before the Mayflower. That's why there's pyramids all over America in the Grand Canyon. Or you gonna tell me these Europeans built the pyramids here? That's what we had to be here first. So with that, y'all can take this any way you want, stick it any way you want. We don't care. Delineation is real. We done with that, bro. As far as I'm concerned, we supposed to be buying Black American. We supposed to cut everybody off. Ain't nobody supposed to get none of our dough. That's a fact.
Due to the locking of all the land mass, we were always over here. We're the first as the Aboriginal race across this planet. And so since we all been here, we all have suffered in some way, form or fashion from colonization. And so we just need our brothers and sisters from other countries to be supportive in this, because believe it or not, when we win, we all win, because it'll have a rippling effect, because it's time, it's long overdue. And we're not asking to, we're not saying that we're not you. Well, we just have different experiences. That's the best way to say it. Similar but different, in our own unique ways. And we're just finally identifying who we are and sharing it with the world. And also, and we just need that support from you guys to be understanding of our culture and our indigenous link here to the Americas, our connection. I hope I was able to better explain all of this. If you look at my videos on my channel, you'll get a better understanding about our history and why we do the things we do, and why our things are the way they are here in this country. I think if you binge watch all the videos, and also my mental health videos, which I talk about that. I'm a licensed therapist. I talk about how to improve your mental health by connecting to your indigenous heritage and your spirituality as well as indigenous individuals. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to say I believe it's a misunderstanding. I think if people take the time to learn about our culture as well, when they come into this country, they'll have a better understanding and wouldn't be so much animosity. There'll be more of empathy, I would say, and compassion. But till next time, I would love to hear what you all think. And yes, till next time, love and peace. Bye-bye.